One child told me digitally raped her. Inserted her finger into the vagina. She was not able to explain what it was.
My wife used to say that, thank God we have two boys. Is that?
No.
No.
Not more vulnerable. A man going and report sexual harassment means any avana. This utter disregard to not even understand and notice that our victims and survivors are becoming younger.
At that time, you were young. How did you handle that mental strength? What was your level of thinking at that time?
என்ன கேட்ட கேள்விக்கும் ராதாரவியை கேட்கறதும் very different-ஆ இருக்கும். என்ன பண்றீங்க எனக்கு புரியல. The man is openly abusive.
In WHO, they say one doctor for every 850 patient. So Tamil Nadu is much better than that. Is the problem.
அது நல்ல விஷயம் தானே. Systematically change something in policy. What would you change?
I will not open a medical college anymore.
Today, I think with all the stressors that we have and how we are doom scrolling, we don't have enough sleep.
A.R. Rahman named you Angel of Music.
இந்த விஷயம் எனக்கு இத்தனை வருஷமா தெரியாதே.
சுவாசமாய் நீ நின்றாயே மார்பிலூரும் உயிரே.
Oh my God. Before we dive in, can I be honest with you? It blows my mind that 57.9% of you who listen regularly still have not subscribed to our channel. If you enjoy the podcast, the stories, the signs, maybe even laugh at our jokes, could you do us a small favor? Hit that subscribe button. It takes only 2 seconds and helps us keep bringing you better guests and episodes every week. I'm truly blessed to have all your support and I'm sure you will support me in the journey. Now, let's get into today's episode. Hello, ma'am. Thank you for being in the podcast.
ரொம்ப ஃபார்மலா ஆரம்பிச்சிட்டீங்க டாக்டர். Thank you for having me. ரொம்ப நாளா இது வந்து ஒரு cat and mouse game போயிட்டு இருந்தது. Finally it happened.
I'm so glad. I'm glad
too.
Many people are asking, என் டீமே கேட்டாங்க, why do you want Chinmayi ma'am in the guest அப்படின்ட்டு. நான் சொன்னேன், I want to educate gut health through popular celebrities and one of them I've been following for the last 20 years is you. Yeah. And I'm a huge fan of you since 2018. You believe it or not.
Yeah.
I was in the US in California.
Oh.
I always watch the progress and prospects of what you've been doing. And I know you more than you know me.
Well,
that's a good thing.
How sweet.
So I wanted to talk to you about your kids mainly. Okay. So you have 2 beautiful twins.
Yes, I have a boy and a girl, 3 years old. Dripta and Sharvas.
எப்படி பேர்லாம் அப்படி பிடிக்கிறீங்க?
அது வந்து விஷ்ணு சஹஸ்ரநாமத்துல இருந்து
You
எடுத்தது. அது வந்து நாங்க பையன் பொண்ணு அப்படின்னா ஒரு செட் ஆஃப் நேம்ஸ் வந்து ராகுல் வந்து நாங்க எப்போ டிசைட் பண்ணி வச்சிருந்தோம். And yeah, I think it just worked out.
The main reason I started with that is that my focus, the patients that are coming to me are mainly this 4-5 years after delivery, having some GI issues. They come with abdominal pain and bloating. Right?
Yeah.
I feel like, especially in our community, that postpartum care is not being taken care very well compared to the US community.
All of these things that, when you read about everything that the kind of the hormonal havoc that goes through the woman's body and the absolute estrogen drop that happens postpartum.
Correct.
I mean, especially post-delivery. And it's like that and then it drops here. And then all this that she goes through, அதனால தான் ஒரு டைம்ல வந்து இந்த பொண்களை வந்து அவங்க அம்மா வீட்டுக்கு கூட்டிட்டு போய் அங்க பாத்துக்கலாம்னு சொல்லி, because all of these would probably be a safer, perhaps if that maternal home is safe, more loving, caring, nourishing space for the woman to recover and come back with her baby in 6 months. Because all of those modes and diet and everything is taken care of by the girl's mother. அப்படிங்கிற அந்த ஒரு கான்செப்ட்ல போயிட்டு இருந்தது.
Correct.
Somehow I think I find it really worrying that today, I think with all the stressors that we have in the world today and how we are doom scrolling on a daily basis, we don't have enough sleep. Our biggest challenge is not having enough sleep and not having the right nourishment, as you said. I know how much I literally had to, I think after delivery, I had to hit the ground running. I didn't have the time to recover. Because there were stressors that I had to deal with at both clinics at the time simultaneously. Everything was happening, and I remember answering calls at the clinic from the hospital. இப்படிலாம் பண்ணிக்கிட்டு இருந்தேன். So என்னோட டாக்டர் வந்து என்ன பண்ற நீ அப்படின்னாங்க. எதுவும் பண்ண முடியாது, பண்ணிதான் ஆடும். நானே ஏதோ டாக்டர் வரி வந்து நான் வந்து கிளினிக்ல ஏதோ பாத்துக்கிறேன், இதை பாத்துக்கிறேன், but this is the entrepreneur life அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு.
So you didn't have time to take care of yourself.
I didn't have time, but however I have a god of a nanny who, if not for her, I would have crashed. Most definitely. அவங்க வந்து she came and she is probably the more of a mother figure to the babies than I have been. And I think that care that she also showed to me made sure நான் அப்பப்போ நான் வந்து பார்த்துட்டு போய் என்னடா எனக்கு postpartum depression, rage, because of everything else that I have gone through in the past 6-7 years. என்ன எனக்கு எதுவும் கிராஷ் ஆகல, எனக்கு எதுவும் I was expecting something to happen. ஆனா ஒன்னும் ஆகல. நான் ஏதோ சாப்பிட்டுக்கிட்டு இருந்தேன், எங்க மாமியார் என்ன பாத்துக்கிட்டாங்க. All of that was happening. My husband had a break between films, so he was there. So it was quite a well supported environment that way. I was going through stress in other ways. However, I think I remember coming here with the babies and we were moving clinics and நான் இங்க உட்காந்து என்ன இன்டீரியர்ஸ் பண்ணா ரப்பிஷ் எல்லாம் எடுத்து வெளியில கொட்டிட்டு அந்த மாதிரி எல்லாம் பண்ணிட்டு நான் அந்த அளவுக்கு ஹேண்ட்ஸ் ஆன். வீட்டுக்கு போகும்போது அப்படி ஒயிட் சிமெண்ட்ல அப்படி வெள்ளையா போவேன். பசங்க வந்து பூதம் வந்துருச்சு, barely 4-5 months. So உள்ள இருந்து அப்படியே போயிட்டு பாத்ரூம் போய் குளிச்சுட்டு வெளில வருவேன். So இப்படிதான் பண்ணிக்கிட்டு இருந்தேன். So all of that shows in the back. எனக்கு அடி வாங்கிச்சு. My spine took a beating with all of that.
How did you get into your fitness routine again though?
I didn't. That is my biggest problem, honestly. However, the truth be told, I did consult. I have a traditional Chinese medicine consultant in the US.
Is that right?
Yeah. So she
TCM.
also TCM. She also guided me through teleconsulting from the US throughout my pregnancy and also postpartum. Diet, I had my own challenges about being a vegetarian. See, TCM has a lot of herbs and other things which non-meat eaters might not be able to stomach. So illa எனக்கு இது பழக்கம் இல்ல. I had to actually culturally give her a thing about how it is here. ஒரு தடவை அவங்க இந்தியாவுக்கு வந்து இதுதான் எங்களோட கீரை, இதுதான் எங்களோட தண்ணி, இதுதான் எங்களோட சாப்பாடு.
So they change your diet?
Yeah, I did change my diet quite a bit. And
in terms of increasing your fiber, அப்படியா?
Increasing, எனக்கு வந்து at that time she said my digestion was very poor. And I could feel that also. I was not throughout pregnancy I had a severe acid reflux. My esophagus was constantly on fire. And the moment I gave birth, it stopped clearly. நான் தண்ணி குடிச்சாலும் வாமிட் பண்ணிட்டே இருந்தேன். And I am not the type to pop pills.
It's because of the progesterone hormone.
Yeah, I
the sphincter muscle is like wide open.
இங்கேந்து வந்துட்டே இருந்தது. ஐயோ இது எப்படா முடியும்? I think by 8 months I was like, when will this stop? When will this stop? Leftல படிச்சாலும் rightல படிச்சாலும். Yeah. It was I think I remember once I was crying and I'm not able to eat anything, not able to drink anything. And interestingly, pregnancy completely made me averse to two things that I really liked: chocolate and coffee.
Yeah.
I used to dunk like some 8, 10, 15 cups of coffee a day at one point. And எனக்கு வந்து கள்ளி சொட்டு மாதிரி ஃபில்டர் இந்த டிகிரில இருக்கணும், அப்படி இருக்கணும், இப்படி எல்லாம் பேசிக்கிட்டு இருந்தா ஐயோ நல்ல காஃபி வாசனையே தாங்க முடியலன்னு அடிச்சு. எனக்கு 3 years and counting வர வழியே இல்லை அப்படின்னா அப்படி காஃபி குடிக்கிறேன். I can't believe it. I don't know why. And chocolate also I was not able to stomach for a very long time. My mother-in-law said that pregnancy cured her of both coffee and cauliflower. She's not able to touch either. பிடிக்கவே பிடிக்காம போயிடுச்சு. சரி நானும் விட்டேன் அப்படின்ட்டாங்க.
So you know chocolate and coffee.
Chocolate and coffee. But sometimes சரி அப்பப்போ ட்ரை பண்ணுவேன். எப்படி நம்ம வாழ்க்கையில பிடிச்ச இவ்வளவு நல்ல விஷயத்தை நம்ம எப்படி விடலாம்? சாக்லேட் அப்பப்போ எனக்கு டார்க் சாக்லேட் தான் பிடிக்கும் எப்போதுமே. I was never addicted to sugar. Never had a sweet tooth.
What is the dark chocolate percentage that you eat?
70%, 70 to 80%.
Nice.
So more bordering towards bitter. So I'm happy that way.
If it is 85% and more, it's even better.
அப்படியா? I don't mind that. அது கசப்பாதான் இருக்கும். அதுக்கப்புறம் என்ன?
Does it stimulate your bitter receptors?
அப்படியா?
See, the bitter receptors in the gut will actually is not being stimulated at all these days.
ஆமா, யாரும் பாவக்காவே சாப்பிடுறது
because ultra processed foods is taking over. But when the bitter receptors are stimulated, the hunger center gets sensitized, and your satiety comes sooner.
ஆனாதான் வாரத்துல ஒரு 2 தடவாவது வீட்டுல பாவக்காய் நடக்கும். இப்ப அந்த பாவக்காலையும் வெள்ளத்தை போட்டு பரட்டி கொடு. பாயிண்டே இல்லையா?
So that's why they say dark chocolate 88% more is a good alternative for sugar cravings, sweet cravings. It's a wonderful alternative. They'll have that a little bit of a bitter sweet, and you'll also have the satisfaction of eating a chocolate.
என் கூட ஒரு பையன் இருக்கான், அப்படின்னு அடி வாங்க.
It starts low, 60%, 70%, and then you increase.
No, but I also don't have commercially made chocolate. I have couture of 85%. So that's also texturally, and chocolate wise, I think flavonoids and everything else, it's kind of better.
I'm very impressed by your widespread knowledge in every field. Let me ask you, you have been multitasking in multiple things, right? So you are an entrepreneur, you are a dubbing artist, you are a wonderful singer, mother of 2, wife to a successful film director, traveling between Hyderabad and Chennai and multiple clinics. Looking at you, I feel better.
Why?
See, I have multiple verticals as well.
Right.
I feel like sometimes I do feel like maybe I have ADHD, where I have multitasking, and there is also a component called high functioning,
high functional ADHD.
End of the spectrum. I feel like I have that.
I have a graduation. I graduated in psychology, not the BA, but more the BSc. I wanted to go into some sort of guidance and counseling, but somewhere my education was cut short. எனக்கு எங்கேயோ இந்த மாதிரி ஒரு with all of that, when I was looking at that, I would probably, I shouldn't, it's not, I don't hold the letters to self-diagnose myself, but I probably feel that my drive and the need to go and do multiple things is to stimulate these. I probably would put myself on the spectrum as well.
No, it's a good thing.
It's a good thing.
We are glad. உங்களுக்கு பிரச்சனை இருக்கலாம், எங்களுக்கு we are very glad.
இல்ல, எனக்கு பிரச்சனை இல்ல. எனக்கு என்னன்னா அந்த ஒரு குயிக்கா ஒரு 10-15 நிமிஷத்துக்கு அப்புறம் அந்த ஒரு போர்டம் ஒண்ணு செட் ஆகும்ல. என்னடா அதே பண்ணிக்கிட்டு இருக்கோம், போர் அடிக்குது, வேற ஏதாவது பண்ணலாம். அப்புறம் அதுல போய் டீப் டைவ் அடிச்சு சரி ஓகே முடிஞ்சு போச்சு நெக்ஸ்ட் அப்படிங்கிற மாதிரி.
This is a very underdiagnosed thing. It's not like it's a problem or something, but people when we talk ADHD, they talk about the pediatric portion.
Yeah.
But there is something with an adult condition, which is especially in this fast-paced world, it's a very common thing. We see this all the time.
Right.
The problem with that is because the brain is connected to the gut gets.
I totally get it. I totally get it. எனக்கு நல்லா புரியுது. நான் இப்போலாம்
You have any gut issues?
I can safely say no, but yes, bloating and all of that has started postpartum. I'm trying to I'm not able to find the time. I was just talking to a really good friend of mine. என்னையா அது என்னமோ கார்த்தால எழுந்தா என்னடா தூங்கவே இல்லையே, ராத்திரி தூங்கவே இல்லையே, எப்படியே போகுது 3 வருஷம். When will I get to sleep? Can I sleep sometimes? Sleep. That's the other thing that women, especially in the postpartum care, nobody talks about how pregnancy actually fries a woman's brain.
Correct.
Completely fried. Then and by the time apparently some aspects of her brain come back to normalcy, it takes about 7 years for everything to actually normalize in a woman's body. And if she's had a couple more or maybe another pregnancy, that add the years to that as well, and the collective sleep deprivation. And the mom brain is real. என்னடா அது இப்பதானே ஏதோ பண்ணிக்கிட்டு இருந்தோம் அப்படின்னு. I get it. I get all of this. And the fact that when women report it or women talk about it, women's health and research in women's health and conditions, even something as quote unquote simple as endometriosis is under researched, not funded enough, and most of everyday even vehicles that we use are not designed for the woman's body. And I find that this great gap, this gender parity it's like across the board, right from reporting pain to reporting all of this that we go through with pregnancy and postpartum. நாங்க பார்க்காததா நீங்க பாத்தீங்க, ஐயோ நீங்க பாத்தீங்க ஆனா நாங்க ஏன் பார்க்கணும்னு கேட்டா, நோ நான் கஷ்டப்பட்டேனா சாவு, நீயும் சேர்ந்து சாவு. ஐயோ we are not
Is it safe to say, I mean, is it reasonable to say it is more in our community, or that is pretty pattern in our...
I read a lot of women writing about it in like journals or in books. It seems like when I compare that, it looks like India is better off. I spoken to, so one of the early things that I got to do, 2011, I went to US State Department Global Women's Mentoring Partnership. So they choose about 35-40 women from all over the world, mostly developing countries.
Oh, good.
To mentor them, to train them to be leaders in their own spaces. So this was a program that was started by Hillary Clinton. And we get to shadow women in the Fortune Most Powerful Women list. So nice. I was in DC meeting people who write policy for the president, how women speak about policy, how they get policies done, how they move it, how they negotiate. And of course, speaking to the mentors that were running Amex at that time. I was under Joan Amble and I think also Jennifer. So Joan Amble I'm still in touch with her off and on. And she, I think, was world number 2 on Amex. When I spoke to her, you have these very grandiose ideas about the West. Oh, the women are so immense. No, actually they are not. When I went and saw how loaded they are and the workload, the kind of emotional load that they have at home and outside seemed far more, because they don't have the family support that we have here. I mean, yes, it's coming down inga kuda, but I feel
but definitely much more here.
It's horrible in the US. So she said the glass ceiling is not just a glass ceiling, but it's still a brick wall. So I asked her, I interviewed her. I asked her what was the strangest thing that she came across. And then she said, the pressure Japanese women who are corporate leaders have to go through to make bento boxes for their children. So they wake up at 4 a.m. to make a perfect Japan grade perfect bento box, which is a lunch box for their kids and their family, which needs to be different every day. Otherwise, it's against very different to their culture sort of a thing.
I see.
And apparently those women said this was a challenge that they were dealing with. Perennially sleep deprived. And somehow, coming back to women's health, I think 2-3 things women are supposed to take easy. Continue and constantly ignore pain. Ignore whatever health conditions that we are talking about or feeling. ஏதோ கொஞ்சம் uncomfortable இருக்கு அப்படின்னா வா டாக்டர்கிட்ட போகலாம், ஒன்றும் இல்லை சரியா போயிடும் அப்படின்னு. It's also the conditioning of the other women to tell your co-woman that it's okay, it's no big deal. If a woman says I have period pains, என்ன பெரிய விஷயம், டெலிவரி பெயினை விட பெரிய விஷயமா? Why should she go through pain? Why are you glorifying a woman needs to go through and continue to suffer pain to prove that she is woman enough, right? And I think third and most importantly, sleep deprivation is highly, அதாவது 12 மணி 1 மணிக்கு ஒரு பொம்பளை தூங்க போனாலும் அந்த பெண்மணி அடுத்த நாள் காலத்துல 3 மணிக்கு எழுந்து வீட்டில் இருக்கிற ரிலீஜியஸ் டியூட்டிஸா இருக்கலாம், இல்ல கல்ச்சுரல் டியூட்டிஸா இருக்கலாம், சொசைட்டல் டியூட்டிஸா இருக்கலாம். the woman is supposed to bear the load of, நீ தானே வேலைக்கு போறேன்னு சொன்ன, போ வேலைக்கு, கஷ்டப்படு, நீ தான் வீட்லயும் கஷ்டப்படு. I don't understand this. Where
is it changing now? At least in the US,
some talk shows here seems to be one because this growing group of incels talking about what feminism is, how feminism should be. நீ தான் ஃபெமினிஸ்ட் நான் சொன்ன, நான் உனக்கு கேட்டேனா, நான் ஃபெமினிஸ்டா இல்லையா உனக்கு கேட்டேனா? நானே அப்பெல்லாம் சொல்லிக்கிறது இல்லை. I speak
what is just.
What is just and what is right for whoever it is. All of you feminists, that's why fake feminism. முதல்ல ஃபெமினிசமே என்னன்னு தெரியல, அதுக்கப்புறம் என்ன ஃபேக் ஃபெமினிசம் உனக்கு தெரியாதோ பேசிட்டு போ அப்படிங்கிற மாதிரி தான் இருக்கும். பட் I saw a recent அந்த ஒரு டாக் ஷோல பெண்கள் இந்த துப்பட்டா போடுங்க தோழி குரூப் ஒன்று இருக்குல்ல, அது அப்புறம் அவங்க இந்த மாதிரி இருக்காங்க அந்த மாதிரி இருக்காங்க, கூட வேலை பண்ற ஆண்களை வேணும்னே இன்சைட் பண்றாங்க. ஏன் இன்சைட் பண்ணிக்கிற மாதிரி நீ இருக்கே அப்படின்னா you are not fit to be employed in an organization. Clearly you are not collected, you are not well put together. Something's wrong with you. You need to go speak to a psychiatrist.
Telling to speak out loud, and you looks like you don't mince words.
I never do.
You just speak your thing. And I have been following you from your Me Too movement from 2018. At that time you were young, like you were less than 35 years. Yeah, less than 35. How did you handle that mental strength? Or what was your level of thinking at that time?
See, at that point, it was such a collective movement of sisterhood that just came across. It started in the West a little before. I would actually say the person I have always doffed my hat to, Raya Sarkar, and they basically spoke about the list of sexual harassers in academia. They had actually put out that list in the US. That was in 2017. And in 2018, I think, if not for Tanushree Datta and her outing Nana Patekar, the next, right on the heels of what Tanushree was saying, came up the expose of people in stand-up comedy. Then it was journalism. The industry, the film industry was only much later. Actually, I think the spaces where sexual harassment is the highest and it is not reported because of the power structure and the imbalance is actually medicine, law, and
talking of the hospital system,
the entire education system, education, medicine, and the legal system. In India, across the world. So many medical students have spoken about being harassed by seniors, students itself. Not I'm talking about medicine mattum. Students talking about anga the power imbalance. PhD scholars talking about their guides asking for sexual favors. If illana na kudukka matte. So their thing is, should I risk my doctoral degree or my degree or whichever medicine, whatever else, இல்லனா நீ ஒத்துக்கலனா நீ வரவே இல்ல, அட்டெண்டன்ஸ் பேப்பரை கிழிச்சு போட்டுருவேன், கண்ணெதிரக்கே கிழிச்சு போட்டாங்கன்னு சொல்லியிருக்காங்க. Well, the Bengal incident itself was quite a rude wake-up call. So many male doctors on Twitter speak about sexual harassment in wards, what happens to nurses, what happens to the other blue-collar workers in hospital systems, what happens to people under anesthesia. It's one constant space of fear that we operate from. And I think you asked me what makes me most angry is this utter disregard to not even understand and notice that our victims and survivors, I call people victims when they have lost their lives, and survivors who have survived the onslaught are becoming younger. 2, 1, 8 months old. And if this does not show the systemic degradation of what has happened in this country, and we are not taking steps to change that, there has to be a next really horrendous level of degeneration of, I don't know, whatever you call it, ethics, moral values, or whatever else you call it. But the fact that our survivors / victims of sexual harassment are becoming as young as 2 years old and 1 year old and 8 months old, or even newborn babies in hospitals, and absolute disregard to even understand that majority of the cases, the perpetrator is known to the victim.
Within the family, yeah.
Within the family, most often than not within the family. And the disregard to continue to ignore that and to constantly ask survivors to shut up, to take care of the என்ன இதுல என்ன குடும்ப கௌரவம் தெரியல, கௌரவம் எனக்கு போயிடுச்சு, அவங்கள வெளில தள்ளுங்க, அவங்க தப்பு இல்லை அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு இன்னமும் அதை தான் பேசிக்கிட்டு இருக்கோம். பட் ஒன் good thing that I see is that at least the Me Too movement has given something of actually discussing the problem of sexual harassment in living rooms. I'm glad that has happened. அது வரைக்கும் it is a taboo concept இல்ல, பேசவே கூடாது இதெல்லாம் பத்தி. அதெல்லாம் எப்படி நீ பேசலாம்?
But many people are supporting you, right? Using you, their stories are coming out.
Correct.
Do you think that நீங்க you have broken the norm by saying that எனக்கு வேலை போனாலும் பரவாயில்லை, I don't even my career is jeopardy, I don't want to deal with these people, correct?
I know. So because see, there is a very interesting analogy that my therapist once told me. A therapist friend of mine told me about people who undergo abuse, whether it's financial, emotional, physical, intimate partner violence. There is, as let's say that a friend who's going through intimate partner violence, and you're telling her, in most cases, that why are you doing this? Why can't you just walk out of the relationship? So there will be some people who will go through the violence for say 1 year and walk out. And there'll be women who will get beaten up by their husbands their entire lives, and they'll die like that. எனக்கு இதான், this is my lot in life அப்படினு. So there was this therapist who said, some people will hit a threshold, this and no more அப்படின்னு. And the this and no more was a Me Too movement for a lot of us. We were sick and tired of having had to deal with these people and constantly be demanded to praise them in public spaces, write blogs about them, tweet about it. You will get directives. அவர் பண்ணார்ல, அதை பத்தி நீங்க ட்விட்டர்ல போடுங்க, அதை பண்ணாங்கல்ல பிளாக்ல எழுதுங்க. Then you will get a call after 2-3 days if you didn't write about it.
Wow.
So how will you go and explain this? எழுத சொன்னாங்க, எழுதிட்டேங்க அப்படின்னா, for expecting the strength and the I am now at the peak of my strength from a 40-year-old woman, from a 19-year-old girl, is the stupidity of society. And all of these people holding and expecting this next level maturity and proper professional dealing with the media, which is now some 40 people are shoving mics into your face, eyes, nose, ears. இது சொல்லு அப்படின்னா, உங்க எத்தனை டிவி சேனல்ல வந்து பாக்ஸோ யூனிட்டும் வந்து ஐசிசியும் இருக்குன்னா, ஐசிசிக்கு கூட ஸ்பெல்லிங் கூட தெரியாது. ஸ்பெல்லிங்னா they don't even know the derivation of what ICC is. உங்க மீடியா சேனல்ல ஐசிசி இருக்கா, இன்டர்னல் கம்ப்ளைண்ட் கமிட்டி இருக்கா, பாஷ் எப்போ வச்சீங்க கடைசியா அப்படின்னு பாத்துக்கோங்க. என்ன வந்து கேள்வி கேக்குறீங்களா நீங்க அப்படின்னு. All of them, the number of questions the media that has decided to ask all of those really, really invasive, intrusive, oppressive questions to me, have not deigned to go and ask the same questions of the men that have been, because that's how the system works. என்ன கேட்ட ஒரு கேள்வியில, அதாவது என்ன கேட்ட கேள்விக்கும் ராதாரவிய கேட்கறதும் வெரி டிஃப்ரெண்டா இருக்கும். அப்படின்னு வாங்க, என்ன சார் சொல்லுங்க சார் அப்படின்னு. யோ என்ன பண்றீங்க நீங்களா, என்ன பண்றீங்க எனக்கு புரியல. The man is openly abusive. கூப்பிடுறவளுக்கு டிஃபரன்ஸ் வேணும்னு ஸ்டேஜ்ல பேசுறாரு. நீங்களா ரேப் பண்ணுங்க, அப்பதான் நீங்க நல்லா ஹீரோ ஆக முடியும். இப்படி பேசுற, this is a stage, he thinks it's funny. Rape jokes are so funny. And that man's heads a union. And we have to hear this abuse on a daily basis. There are some days you're like, you want to fight back. Some days, if you fight back, you know that you're going to not be able to exist. And there are some days that you want to like, oh, you know what, I don't have the mind space for this today. Let me just walk out. Just like how, சில நாள் வந்து ரோட்ல யாரான்னு இப்படி ஏன்டா இப்படி பண்ற அப்படின்னு சொல்ல, சில நாள் வந்து கத்துவாங்க, சில நாள் நீ எக்கடோ கெட்டு போ, முட்டிட்டு சாவு, நான் பாட்டுக்கு நான் போய்க்கிறேன் அப்படின்னு ஒரு மைண்ட் செட் தான் இதுவே வந்து. பட் however, the survivor has to be perfect. அதாவது above question, நீ சீதா பிராட்டியா இருந்து பூமிக்குள்ள நீ சாவு, இல்ல நீ வெளியில இருந்து கேள்வி எல்லாம் கேட்க கூடாது. Why haven't you buried yourself yet? Why are you still alive? How can you?
But you had family support.
That is the only difference that I had versus other girls who couldn't speak up.
Let me ask you, from a media angle, you are talking about it. How about like regular daily husband and wife, daily family thing, where the women is not able to express themselves? What is the line what you would recommend or what you will say?
ரொம்ப கஷ்டம், ரொம்பவே கஷ்டம். நான் என்னோட இடத்துல இருந்து என்னோட ஸ்பேஸ் என்னவா இருந்தாலும் எனக்கு there is a position of privilege that I have. In spite of the fact that I am asking questions of people who asked me really impolite or abusive questions also. There have been really abusive men in the name of journalists who have asked really horrendous. அவங்கள பத்தி இப்போ ட்விட்டர்லயே நிறைய பேர் வந்து ஓப்பனாவே பேசுறாங்க, இவன்லாம் எப்படி ஜேர்னலிஸ்ட் அப்படிங்கிற மாதிரி.
But you had the courage.
ஏன்னா ஒரு தடவை ஐ திங்க் எப்போ ஒரு தடவை he used to constantly use a politician's name to threaten. நீ அதை பண்ணலைன்னா, இங்க வந்து பாடலைன்னா, நான் ஒரு இது பாருங்க, இதுக்கு மேல நீங்க சொன்னீங்கன்னா அவர் வீட்டு வாசலையே நானும் எங்க அம்மா போய் தீ குளிச்சிருவோன்ட்டேன். வேணும்னே சொன்னேன், இதுக்கு மேல மிரட்டாதீங்க, நீங்க இந்த மாதிரி பண்றீங்கன்னு சொல்லிட்டு நான் தீ குளிச்சு சாவேன். அதுக்கப்புறம் that man didn't call. Yeah. Wow. It happened. And I said that nobody can deny in his office that it didn't happen, because I called his, I forget that man's name, manager. இப்போ எனக்கு ஞாபகம் இல்லை. But that day, I did not want to sing at his audio launch or some book release, something. That day my father-in-law said, நான் இருக்கேன், நான் பாத்துக்கிறேன்டர். He is not politically powerful, nothing. சாதாரண மிடில் கிளாஸ், அப்பர் மிடில் கிளாஸ் ஃபேமிலி. எங்கேருந்தோ வந்து அன்னைக்கு எனக்கு தைரியம் that there is, எனக்கு அன்னைக்கே பயம், என்ன இந்த மாதிரி மிஸ்பிஹேவ் பண்ணிருக்காருன்னா, அன்னைக்கு எங்க வீட்டுல ஒர்க் பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கிற ஸ்டாஃப் வந்து எங்கிட்டயும் மிஸ்பிஹேவ் பண்ணிருக்காங்கன்னு அவங்க சொல்றாங்க. எங்க ரெண்டு பேருக்கும் அதுக்கு அந்த கதை வரைக்கும் அன்னைக்கு தெரியாது. She had worked in his house as a staff. He had misbehaved with her. She left the next day. So என்னது அப்படின்னா திரும்பி பார்க்குறவங்க எல்லாம் ஒரு கதை சொல்றாங்களே இந்த மனுஷனை பத்தி என்ன நடக்குது அப்படின்னு. இட் வாஸ் கம்ப்ளீட்லி ரேண்டம். அண்ட் தென் அதெல்லாம் எல்லாம் ஒன்றும் பிரச்சனை இல்லைம்மா, அவன் பார்த்துக்கலாம்
That boosted you.
And my husband was, when I spoke to him, because first I shared my story anonymously through a journalist. I changed some things and then இண்டஸ்ட்ரியிலேருந்து ஒருத்தருங்க, என்ன மேடம் நீங்கள் பாட்டுக்கு சொல்லிட்டீங்க, அந்த 12 பொண்ணுங்களில் ஒரு பொண்ணு நான் சார், இப்போ என்ன பிரச்சனைன்னு சொல்லுங்க அப்படின்னு. ஓ நீங்க நான் ஒன்றும் சொல்லலை மேடம், ஓகே அப்படின்ட்டாங்க. அப்புறம் they added more to the story. I said none of this is of any use to me. You do whatever you want, but I'm talking about sexual harassment, where you're saying if you don't sleep with me, I will make your life miserable. I'm not saying that, I'm not talking about should people flirt, should they have extramarital affairs. Now, on the concept kulle pole, I'm not going into those conversations at all. This is not a moral class. What you do, whether your marriage is open, closed, monogamous, polyamorous, I don't care a damn. That's up to you and your partner /is. Whatever you want to do, you do. If somebody is not willing to be in your space, let me be. But the systematic, I'm probably the only person in this country who's actually been, or maybe in the world, to actually be legally banned from working for naming a molester. I don't know if anybody else in this world has gone through. I'm not saying that shadow bans don't exist.
That's deep.
Nobody else, the women have undergone shadow bans left, right and center. அவ சொல்லிட்டால அவளை சாவடி. Even in politics, there were women, powerful women in politics who said whatever you women have achieved in these 10 days, அப்போ அக்டோபர் நவம்பர்ல அவங்க மீட் பண்ணும்போது, we have not been able to achieve in our entire lives. எலெக்ஷன் இதுக்கெல்லாம் போகும்போது, கேம்பெயினிங்கெல்லாம் போகும்போது த்ரூ அவுட் த நைட் எங்களை சாவடிப்பானுங்க, டோர்ல அடிச்சுக்கிட்டே இருப்பாங்க. நாங்க மேல இருக்கிற எங்க லீடர்கிட்ட போய் சொன்னா, the leader will actually remove these guys, but these men will come and make our lives miserable because the circle is the same. They will say that we cannot sit here, we cannot do this, we cannot. ஒரு அளவுக்கு மேல we had to just grit our teeth, grin and as much as possible avoid it and not have any more confrontations.
And it has not changed anything.
Nope. There are still no ICCs in the industry, despite the fact that so many people from the industry have moved into politics. Ask any of them the question, they will not put systems in place for that.
This is not about the industry alone, right? This is just even across the board.
Across the board. How many schools have a proper POSH or a POXO unit? இத்தனை ரியாலிட்டி ஷோஸ் வித் சில்ட்ரன் பாக்குறோமே, அங்க பாக்ஸோ யூனிட் இருக்கான்னு கேளுங்க. I have asked. இத்தனை குழந்தைங்களை கொண்டு வந்தீங்க, பாக்ஸோ யூனிட் இருக்கா?
Tell us more about the POXO unit thing.
So POXO is this prevention of child sexual offenses. So it basically mandates that there has to be a basic level of training for prevention of sexual harassment when you employ children. Technically it is an employment. It is child labor. Just jolly abdi nicely sugar coated அப்படி போ எல்லாம் டைப் பண்ணி மேக்கப்லாம் போட்டு அரிதாரல புசி அப்படின்னு. So it's content with children, where you have brought in children in a space where there will be an unbelievable power dynamic, not just as an adult but also as a person of power. When you have molesters as judges in these spaces, it is a horrendous space. இந்த மாதிரி ஒரு ஷோல one child told me, the parents also spoke about one of the molesters named, saying that he had digitally raped her. Basically, he inserted his finger into the vagina. The child was 8 at that time. And she didn't want to go back to the show. The parents thought she was just a child doing tantrums. இல்ல கண்ணா, நம்ம பண்றோம்னா நம்ம கொடுத்த வார்த்தையை பண்ணணும் அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு அந்த ஷோ she continued. She was not able to explain what it was because this awareness was not there. இப்போ good touch, bad touch, she shout, tell, ஏன்னா say, go, tell, அந்த மாதிரி எல்லாம் நிறைய ட்ரைனிங் இது வந்திருக்கு. But what existed 20 years ago, 15 years ago?
My wife used to say that, thank God we have 2 boys. Is that
No. You are equally if not more vulnerable. I have probably been, even before the Me Too movement broke out, I have been speaking about the fact that boys are more vulnerable. You guys don't understand it with all of your really crass, lowly cerebral, absence of cerebral homophobic jokes. It is not funny and you don't understand that boys are a lot more at risk. Girls have a safe space to report even within our own girls space. நாங்க ஏதாவது கொட்டியாவது தீக்கலாம். But a man going and report sexual harassment means நீ அவனா, அதுதான் ஜோக் இல்ல. That is the so called, அப்புறம் அதுக்கு ஒரு நம்பர் எல்லாம் வேற அட்டாச் பண்ணிடுவாங்க. I remember it is still there on my Instagram's page. There was a 35-year-old man who reported that he and his friends went out on a trip and they all came and crashed at his house. Some 5-6 guys, colleagues. And he felt that he was being molested when he was asleep by his male colleague. And apparently he froze, he pretended to sleep, something that all women do as a response so that, okay, this thing will be over, our bodies will clench and we'll pretend to sleep until the ordeal is over. So that இது எங்களோட ஸ்டாண்டர்ட் ரெஸ்பான்ஸ். முக்காவாசி பெண்களுக்கு இதுதான் ரெஸ்பான்ஸ். எல்லா பெண்களுக்கும் நான் இது சொல்றது புரியும். அப்பனா இது நீ வந்து என்ன ஆர் யூ என்ஜாயிங் இட்னு ஏதான ஒரு 4 தற்குறி வந்து கேட்கும். ஆனால் அது கேட்டுட்டு போட்டோம். They don't understand a stress response to, especially for a stress response, there is a fright, there is a freeze, but there is also a fawn. They don't understand there is a fawn response to stress, where you go on praising your abuser thinking that this will take me out of my ordeal. என்ன அடிக்கிறவன் வந்து இந்த ஒன்ன மாதிரி ஒரு கடவுள் உண்டா அப்படின்னு சொல்லி
they'll come back to the same thing again,
not realizing this is not, and adukku nariya childhood trauma could be a response to that. There is a lot of, when you read about all of this and when I correlate with what I have gone through, why did I have a fawn response or a freeze response to my abuser, and how do I
because when domestic abuse irukku parunga, parents relationship வந்து impaired இருந்துச்சுனா you will be affecting the child's.
Absolutely இது எல்லாமே when I look back at my own life and my own responses to a lot of stressful situations, but then I am different now. But that was thankfully because I was lucky to find a partner and a marital family, and a mother-in-law was a rock star.
Looks like you've gone through a lot more than what I've seen on the social media. Do you increase your mental bandwidth? How come you meditation பண்றீங்களா
இல்ல அடிச்சனாலும் தாங்கற ஒரு பாடி நிறைய.
Or do you go for therapy or anything, or
I did take therapy in between.
That itself is considered as a taboo these days.
I don't have a problem with all of that. I mean, at least as a graduate of psychology, I should know better.
Correct.
That it's not like just like you take a blood test every once in a while to see if everything is in place. You can go take a mental health checkup. இதுவே வந்து ஏன் இது I wanted to speak about this. There was this time, I think in the peak of all of this that was happening, fresh out of my miscarriage or something, I guess, there was this clubhouse session where I had posted something, people misunderstood it, and அது ஒரு பெரிய ஒரு issue ஆக்கி I dropped into that clubhouse room saying, why are you misunderstanding all of this? அப்போ வந்து there was this doctor called Arvind Rajava, என்னன்னு தெரியல. He was drunk apparently. Reportedly, I don't know. I can't say. Reportedly drunk. And he said, hey Chinmayi, நீ வந்து காஞ்சிபுரம் மெடிக்கல் ஹாஸ்பிட்டல்ல நீ அட்மிட் ஆயிட்ட. உன்னோட எல்லா என்ன மென்டல் ஹெல்த் ரிப்போர்ட், ஹார்மோனல் ரிப்போர்ட்லாம் இருக்கு. சரி, அதை வச்சு என்ன பண்ண போறீங்க டாக்டர்? சொல்லுங்க டாக்டர். நீங்க டாக்டரா? சரி, நான் அதெல்லாம் எக்ஸ்போஸ் பண்ணுங்க டாக்டர், ஒன்றும் பிரச்சனை இல்லை. அதாவது நீ என்னோட மென்டல் இதெல்லாம் வந்து உன்னோட ஹார்மோனல் ரிப்போர்ட் தெரியும், டெஸ்ட் தெரியும், உனக்கு ஒரு ரோடு ஆக்சிடென்ட் ஆச்சு, நீ அங்கே வந்து அட்மிட் ஆன. எனக்கு ரோடு ஆக்சிடென்ட் ஆச்சு நீங்க சொல்லிதான் எனக்கே தெரியும். பட் தேங்க்யூ ஃபார் த இன்ஃபர்மேஷன். தயவு செய்த மாதிரி ஒரு விஷயம் நடக்க வேண்டாம். அது காஞ்சிபுரம் ஜிஹெச்ல வந்து நீ அட்மிட் ஆன. அப்படியா டாக்டர்? யாரோட? அதாவது இஷ்டத்துக்கு பேசுறாரு. அப்பதான் mentioned there's this guy who has clearly lost his balance, and thankfully there were other medical students or doctors also in the room saying that doctor நீங்க பண்றது தப்பு. If you're not in a position to handle yourself and you're not in control of your emotions at this point, please leave the room. இதுக்கு மேல பேசாதீங்க. ஏற்கனவே டாக்டர்ஸ் பேர்ல நிறைய பேசுறாங்க, இந்த மாதிரி பேசி பண்ணாதீங்க அப்படின்னு. And he went on ranting saying, I have your reports, I will expose that you are mentally ill, mentally unhealthy. I said, I am willing to go to any psychiatrist. I'm sure everybody will have some stressors every day. I'm happy to. நீங்க யார் வேணா evaluate பண்ணிக்கோங்க, எனக்கு ஒரு பிரச்சனையும் இல்லை. நீங்க என்ன படிச்சிருக்கீங்க டாக்டர், என்ன உங்களோட எம்டி என்ன, நான் இப்போ ஏதோ சொன்னார், இப்போ ஞாபகம் இல்லை. அடுத்த நாள் காலத்தில் இது ப்ளோ அப் ஆயிடுச்சு. அடுத்த நாள் காலத்தில் வந்து some random person has called me some 7 times 8 times. என்னடா அப்படின்னா, ஹலோ ஹலோ ஹலோ, யார அது கத்துறதுன்னு, ஹலோ யார பேசுங்க, நான் தான் டாக்டர், இது பாருங்க நான் உங்களுக்கு சாரி சொல்லணும் அப்படின்னா, இப்படிதான் சாரி சொல்லணும், தயவு செய்து சாரி சொல்லணும், போனை வச்சுட்டு போயிட்டே இருங்க. அப்புறம் then he completely spun the story about இந்த மாதிரி ஒரு 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 சொசைட்டில இவ்வளவு பவர்ஃபுல்லான சொசைட்டில என்ன மாதிரி பாவப்பட்டு கஷ்டப்பட்டு மெடிசன் படிச்ச டேய், நான் நீ மெடிசன் படிக்கிறதுக்கும் நீ படிச்சதுக்கும் நான் பேசுறதுக்கும் சம்பந்தமே இல்லை. நீ ஏன் வந்து மாட்டிக்கிட்டு வளரிட்டு நான் ஏதோ ஒடுக்க இது பண்றேன் ஒப்ரஸ் பண்றேன் பேசிக்கிட்டு much younger than me at that point itself. But oh my god, the kind of people who will name drop. அவங்க நம்ம ஹாஸ்பிட்டலுக்கு வந்துட்டு போறாங்க. நான் வந்து பாப்பேன், if you're name dropping and telling me who your patients are, I don't think I want to come to you. I don't care who's come and gotten treated. I don't care what their vitals are, what happened to them. See, discussing a case as a case to say that, we have had a similar case like this.
Correct.
To do this versus, this Marilyn Monroe came here is a very different story. I don't want to know. So I think one of the first things that I told the very, very amazing medicos that I was grateful to work with, partner with, was that we don't have sales targets. People are not the bills that we need to pay. And please don't name drop. Nobody needs to know that this celeb came to this clinic. Therefore, எனக்கு வேண்டாம். If a client has come in here trusting that Chinmayi will not do wrong by me, and if they are happy when they go out, they will bring others if they want to. We don't have to. இந்த மாசம் வந்து வாடகை கட்ட முடியலனாலும் பரவாயில்ல.
I have the issue on the patient privacy. The patient privacy is really bad in the Indian setting. Really bad. I know I grew up here, I studied here. People can be sued millions of dollars if you just the name is being lost on a paper.
Obviously.
பேப்பரை வந்து மிஸ்பிளேஸ் ஆகி அது வந்து வேற எங்கேயோ போய் you have seen my name over here. And for that, hospital was sued for like couple of $1 million. Here in the elevator, somebody is just talking about the patient's case where the patient's family is just standing right next to them.
Also, how they, I have been, perhaps also, it's probably a thing of the position of privilege that I am in. I think I have been lucky to meet a lot of lovely people in the medical profession. Very, very straight in everything that they do. But I understand it's not the case. But that's true of every profession, every space. இப்போ சினிமா இண்டஸ்ட்ரினே இவ்வளோதான் அப்படிங்கிற மாதிரி, மெடிசனே இப்படிதான், டாக்டர்னாலே இப்படிதான் ஒன்று பேசிட்டு போயிட்டு தான். That's also kind of sad when you go about generalizing an entire, because we know how painful it is, the kind of stress that people go through. Some of the brightest minds in this country go through all the stresses of going through the education and then graduating from it, and then really punishing schedules. And people, it's so, I think the past 10 days we lost 2 really bright cardiologists in Tamil Nadu.
Yeah.
And it's very, I'm like, oh, இது என்ன நடக்குது இதெல்லாம்.
I'll talk a little bit about that.
Please do.
The amount of stress that an Indian doctor is going through is way more than a Western doctor going through.
Yeah.
Is easily, because the quality of life is compromised even in the West as well. But at least a weekend break or like a particular schedule shift is there over in the West. Here, I know both the practices very well. If you don't perform and the amount of demand that they are placing on a already stressful environment. For example, that person is my junior doctor who is in a cardiovascular space where he is dealing with sudden heart attacks and everything. The problem over here is they do not have the time to take care of themselves first, and they always place the patients first. If not, they will not be able to survive their demand, their schedule, their clinical, their practice and everything. This needs to change.
இல்லை இவ்வளோ டாக் இட் டாக் வேர்ல்டாக ஏன் இருக்கணும்னு எனக்கு தெரியல. I understand. I think our patient to doctor ratio in this country is pathetic. I understand. We probably have 2-3 doctors per 1,000 in this country, something like that.
No. Actually, in Tamil Nadu, it is much better.
Better than the rest of the states. Yes.
You have 1 doctor every 498 patient.
Oh, not bad.
In WHO, they say 1 doctor for every 850 patient.
Oh.
So Tamil Nadu is much better than that. Most is people. The problem, because these people are just opening so many medical colleges. So many medical doctors are coming in Tamil Nadu. I am telling you, the medical field may be saturated in all the top tier cities. Every other street, there is a doctor in the metropolitan cities.
அது நல்ல விஷயம் தானே.
It is a good thing for the patient access.
Okay.
Okay, but for the doctor per se, they will have to work very hard to sustain their presence, their patient population. It's not very very easy at all. For example, so let's say a doctor is trained in advanced cardiac surgery and he's coming out of fellowship. Where will he go and practice? He needs to practice only in a metropolitan city. At the metropolitan city hospital itself, they'll be already saturated with multiple medical spots. And this patient, this doctor needs to work under that person, similar to how you are going through in your media. They will have to go through the same hospital thing. This situation is pathetic. When I talk to people in the doctor circle, they are concerned about so many amount of doctors. The doctor-patient ratio is really coming down, which is a problem for the doctors. They'll be over saturated.
So where are these numbers of 2 or 3 patients per 1,000 coming
In the
from?
remote villages. So then the next question would be like, oh,
அப்பனா நீ அங்க போலாம்.
you go and practice in எங்க ஊரு
But where are the facilities
resources?
for that?
Exactly. Oh, then doctors are a noble profession.
நோபல் பிரச்சனை என்ன வந்து எப்ப பார்த்தாலும் பிச்சை எடுத்துட்டு இருக்கணுமா நம்ம பாவம். நல்லா இருக்கே.
No profession, you should carry.
I was just thinking of that this இவங்க மட்டும் இவ்ளோ படிச்சுட்டு இவ்ளோ வருஷம் இவ்ளோ டைம் இவ்ளோ எல்லாம் பண்ணிட்டு they are expected to serve for free னா அவங்க குடும்பத்தை யார் பாப்பாங்க? அவங்களுக்கு குழந்தை குட்டி வீடு வாசல்லாம் இருக்க கூடாதா?
I'm telling you, this is my venting out situation right now. The corporate hospitals throughout India has made use of doctors as a piece in their puzzle. The amount of money that they're paying is much, not only for doctors, any healthcare providers, the amount of money that they pay is much lower compared to any other profession in any other field in any other world. And because there is numbers of doctors, more in number, if you can come, that's okay, I'll take the other person. That is how it has been. I'm telling you, this is so pathetic. And a young doctor who's graduating from MBBS, they need to do NEET, then they need to do PG, and after PG, they need to do another advanced specialty, and they do this 15 years of hard toil and struggle, and they come out, and they have to compete with all the other doctors in the corporate hospitals to get a spot, or you have to open up a private clinic to set up your own practice, which may take time.
Or you must come from a lot of money where your parents are in a position to set up that hospital.
Exactly. A first generation doctor sustaining yourself in this setting is difficult. I'm not saying it's impossible, it is difficult.
அதனால தான் எல்லா டாக்டர்ஸும் ஐயோ நீலாம் மெடிசன் படிக்காத வரவே வராதேன்னு சொல்றாங்களா?
I'm telling you, you don't go speak to any doctor, they will
say,
not.
Don't take it.
Don't.
Any doctor I speak to, nobody is saying please come and study medicine. சொல்றதே இல்லையா யாரும்.
Unless the infrastructure improves. The infrastructure gets improved when the salary goes up. They appreciate the value of the doctor's input. இப்போ they are just considered as a manpower. A corporate hospital, I know this for sure. A corporate hospital is telling my junior doctor is saying that if you want to work in this schedule, and the schedule is not easy. We're talking about they will give you so much amount of patients within a short period of time to be seen. And the patient complaint is the doctors are not giving enough time to us. Right? So you might have heard about this, that, the doctor didn't explain it properly. Government hospital, I'm getting treated very badly. The reason is there is no infrastructure. They have to see 400 to 500 patients in a given day. How will they be seeing every patient in detail? There is not possible at all.
Then it begs the question, if we have a better patient to doctor ratio, why are we putting all this burden in these doctors and asking them to see 500 patients a day? Why not just, I don't know, 20, 25? That is human, right?
Correct. So
maximum.
Correct. In the West, you see 25 patients a day. That is the normal. But for the 25 patients, the pay is reasonable for the amount of patients that you see.
Correct.
Here it is not the same case, because they will give you a fixed salary if you're working in a corporate hospital. And the corporate hospital needs more patients to make more money. So the corporate hospitals have to fill this patient schedule, fill this doctor schedule with as many patients as possible. And it is up to the doctor to make sure that, okay, so this is being done properly within the limited amount of time that he gets. This is the real situation. And there is no sugarcoating to this at all. In the government setting, what one can expect to do is that many people are not joining the government. Why? Because the pay is less. Why will they join the government government hospital when they can earn more outside? And the other thing is, when they are, for example, many people that I know, they work in a corporate hospital, and in the evening,
They go to the government.
or they separate have their own clinic. They are sleeping at 1 a.m., waking up at 7 a.m. I'm telling you, working lifestyle of a doctor is pathetic, especially in Tamil Nadu. And that is why we are seeing younger deaths in Indian doctors. Much more younger at the age. The age of the age that people die as a doctor is much younger than a normal average person. The average death age of a doctor is around only 59-60 years, where the life expectancy of a normal patient is around 69-70 in India.
How do we
So I
set
think
this right?
if I am if let's say somebody else want to change the policy is healthcare providers are in general are getting paid very low.
True, I agree.
In general, not only doctors, nurses, medical technicians. I feel so bad for them. They do so much amount of work, but the amount of pay is extremely low. Who's making all the money? The corporate hospitals are making more money. Because they use medical doctors as a manpower. And I wish this condition changes. This is not only in India. Even in the US, it's the same problem. The CEO of my hospital in the US earns much more than the doctor working under the hospital. And the amount of workload, they will not even see patients. They will have other workload in terms of business running, but not on the ground. On the ground is the doctor working. And physician burnout is something that we talk about a lot in the Western countries. It is not being talked about over here at all. They will give 1 month of paid leave if you meet the criteria of physician burnout over there. Here, physician burnout, what are you talking about? 300 patients in 4 to 5 hours is a normal.
ஆமா, அது வேற. இது ஒரு ப்ராப்ளமா இருக்குன்னு the same thing that women are
Correct.
facing. If the younger students are talking about it, என்ன நாங்க பார்க்காத என்ன நீங்க பார்த்துட்டீங்க?
Correct. Exactly.
நாங்க இவ்வளோ நீங்க பட்டுட்டீங்க, நாங்க பட வேண்டாம்னு சொல்றதுல என்ன தப்பு?
You remember the government doctor incident where the patient stabbed the government doctor, right? Of the cancer. I see both sides where the complaint of the government doctor is he didn't explain it properly of the side effects of the drug that was given. And the patient assumed that this doctor gave this medication, that is why the lung damage happened, that is why my mom is going to die, so I'm going to kill him. So the miscommunication was, yes, there was no clear-cut explanation. Maybe I'm assuming, maybe they didn't spend like 30 minutes or 40 minutes explaining, okay, so this is a chemotherapy drug. This drug will affect the lung damage. It's a side effect of the drug. But at the same time, it is giving you the benefit of the chemotherapy. So it is a risk-benefit ratio. So we are doing this for your mom. That discussion has to happen. At the same time, this patient has to have a trust on the doctor as well. In terms of, this is the recommended treatment that is being given to me. So what is happening? So my mom is sick. You gave a drug which has caused more damage and my mom is going to die. So I cannot handle that as an emotional son. So I'm going to come and stab you. Okay. From the doctor's standpoint.
The way he coolly walked out of the place. இப்பதான் நான் பார்மசில ட்ரக் வாங்கிட்டு வரேன் அப்படின்னு நடந்து போறாரு. யாரு அவன் ஓடுறானா பதட்டமா இருக்கான் இப்படி வர்றாரு அவரு.
Correct. If you see from the patient standpoint, the doctors are not explaining this properly. If they are explaining this, why will I have this much amount of anger towards them? Again, coming back to the infrastructure issue, where how can a doctor spend 45 minutes of your time when there are 1,000 patients waiting? Demand, supply. And the demand is the supply is in a different level, in different areas. If the infrastructure is good, where the pay is also high, we will take care of you. You take care of our patients, we'll take care of you. Then I think the shift will happen towards the government hospital. That is where the change will happen. If not, we'll keep on repeating the same thing. I feel bad. That's what I'm saying. We need a Me Too movement for doctors as well.
I said that a long time ago.
You did?
You guys need a Me Too movement for yourselves in multiple things. But then I think they end up looking up at a senior to speak up for themselves, or speak up, or they need somebody's permission to speak. I have had so many medicos. I mean, all of those stories will go into several volumes actually. என்னோட Instagram DMs la ஒரு huge chunk comes from medicos. And the kind of harassment they face, and multiple, not just sexual harassment, but not agreeing to do something, the workload or something else of somebody else. It could be somebody's son, daughter also. But if they don't do it, then they're at a risk of losing their PG. I'm at the risk of losing my career. I'm like, why would you lose your career? You have already been awarded your MBBS or MD. இது வந்து when I look at it, I'm like, do you understand that you actually have your degree in hand? Nobody can take it away from you. இல்ல உங்களுக்கு தெரியல, உங்களுக்கு புரியல. இல்ல எனக்கு புரியுதுன்னு தான் நான் நினைக்கிறேன். ஆனா நீங்க புரிஞ்சுக்க மாட்டேங்கிறீங்கன்னு நினைக்கிறேன். பிகாஸ் அட் சம் லெவல் அதனால தான் அந்த ஆர்ஜே கார் இன்சிடென்ட் வாஸ் ஒரு வேற விதத்துல இட் வாஸ் டிஃபரன்ஸ். பட் ஐ டோன்ட் நோ வாட் ஹேப்பன்ட் ஆஃப் இட். இட்ஸ் பீன்
nothing, right? There was a huge cry out there, and look at that girl. She was working at a night shift.
Yeah.
Don't you have to give security?
Yeah.
Don't you have to give any protection to the doctor who's house urgency who's doing this?
Yeah.
And there was another Kerala incident. They stabbed the girl, house urgency, and they talk a lot about it at that particular time.
அவ்வளவுதான், அப்புறம் மறந்துட வேண்டியது. அதுக்கு சிஸ்டமிக் சேஞ்ச் என்ன வேணுங்கிறதுக்கு nobody really cares. And it's heartbreaking to see so many of the doctors getting beaten up in hospitals. ஏன்னா patients clearly they are not in an emotionally regulated state.
Correct.
And a lot of people, because they are not trained to regulate their emotions and also regulate their reactions to those emotions, they behave in whichever way they want. அண்ட் அங்க வந்து சிஸ்டமிக்கலி அந்த ஹாஸ்பிட்டலும் டாக்டருக்கு சப்போர்ட் பண்றது இல்ல. அவங்கள ஏதோ குற்றவாளி மாதிரி எக்ஸ்பிளனேஷன் கொடுன்னு கேட்க வேண்டியது. எனக்கு வந்து இதெல்லாம் கேட்கும்போது ஏதானும் பண்ணுங்க, நீங்க தானே படிச்சிருக்கீங்க, நானா படிச்சிருக்கேன், நீங்க தான் படிச்சிருக்கீங்க, நீங்க தான் டாக்டர், நீங்க தான் பண்ணோம்.
No, absolutely. We the amount of infrastructure that is needed for a 24-hour overnight duty for a female doctor especially it's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
Especially after that incident. Even after that incident, how many medical colleges have started? No. Nothing. Maybe few may have started, which is good.
I doubt it. I'd like to see if they have. Can the real Slim Shady please stand up, Mary? Can that doctor and can that hospital and that infrastructure please stand up?
And this is going to happen. Interested, right? The passion of medicine, I think no other profession can give to you. And not a biased opinion.
Yeah.
But the entry into the field should be because of the passion and not because of anything else. Not because of anything else. Money is not there. Money is there, but there are other ways to get that money easily.
True.
And the respect, the credibility.
கட்டாயமா நேத்திக்கு அதான் he was this musician friend of mine. அவங்க அம்மாக்கு அந்த சர்ஜரி முடிச்ச அப்புறம் அவங்க I think you guys are the only ones that we can very quickly see God in you. நீங்க தெய்வம் அப்படின்னு வந்து ஒருத்தங்களை மட்டும் தான் சொல்லுவான்னு நினைக்கிறேன்.
Only at the time of the need.
Need மட்டும் இல்ல, where I think when all is well that ends well, surgery is successful and patient is also alive. அப்ப நீங்க
Operation success, patient.
Operation is successful, patient is
one of the popular doctors over here will say that doctors are treated as gods before the surgery, and after the surgery they are treated as dogs.
Oh.
Because
no, dogs have a better life, I think.
At the time of need, but at the same time, they don't appreciate the amount of work that they put in. My brother-in-law is a doctor.
Oh.
Okay, he's an ENT doctor.
Oh.
I went to his place and I was in the hall.
Oh, you must be dealing with a lot of pediatric cases, la?
Coin muliga, correct, exactly. Mundri kote ulla podradhu.
கடவுளை வேண்டது ஒண்ணுதான், என் பையனையும் பொண்ணையும் தயவு செய்து காயின் எல்லாம் வச்சுட்டு என் பொண்ணு they have a fascination for coins. தாயின் அப்படின்னுவாங்க. காயின் வச்சு விளையாடுறதோட நிறுத்திக்கோ, எல்லாம் பெரிய பெரிய காயின். காயின் இல்ல, தட்டு தான் கொடுக்க.
So he was taking a shower, okay, and there was a call in his phone. I took the phone and then I said that, Dr. Vignesh is taking a shower, he'll call you back. He came running, attending the call. He said, Dr. Vignesh pesre, I'm here, I'll come to the clinic in 30 minutes, don't go to some other doctor.
ஐயோ பாவம்.
Because because the availability of doctors is so much that they start competing for patients. That is also there. That is also another angle that many people don't know about. In metropolitan cities, the doctor-patient ratio is very, very less. You tell me, okay, why should I waste 15 years of my life when there is no protection to my life to start with after I practice, I have to compete with all the other people who are competing for the same patient population in the same area, where I need to work more than the normal hours to sustain my patient practice. And the amount of pay that we are getting, even if we increase a little bit of a consultation fee, there is another doctor getting a reduced consultation fee, then they will go over there. They don't care about the ethical practice what we do. And by the time that we prove that, okay, we are good, before they will say, oh, he's very good, he knows what he is doing. But now the patient wants what to be done even before coming to the clinic. They Google, they do ChatGPT, they do everything, and by the time they come, they also have an idea in terms of this is what I want. That is also putting all this together. The practice of doctors and the passionate practice where you get a joy when a patient is getting treated is getting reduced significantly. And I'm not talking about myself. I'm just talking about many people who are just graduating facing the same problem. So things needs to change. Let me put it that way.
Yeah, clearly a lot needs to change. So if you had to say systematically change something in policy, what would you change? Let's say you were...
I will not open a medical college anymore. This is
Oh.
too many medical colleges in Tamil Nadu. We will have...
But they're actually saying the exact opposite, that we need more medical colleges.
Correct. That is the problem. That is where the problem. The government is glorifying that, oh no, we are having so many medical colleges, so many government doctors. What are these doctors doing? Did you check them? What are they happy? What is the work-life balance that they're having? Nothing. Not even close to a normal work-life balance where a normal profession should need. Kandipa kadayadu, for sure kadayadu. When we preached this point to the government officials in a meeting, I said, we were talking about, see, there were so many doctors and there's a problem, look at this. And they just changed the point in a way convenient for them that, oh, we have produced this many amount of doctors in our road. So we have to decrease the number of medical colleges in Tamil Nadu. The doctor-patient ratio is much less. It needs to be a little bit higher. Second, the payment structure in a government setting needs to be increased. Third, the infrastructure of a government hospital, it is getting better. It needs to get improved even more. And fourth, the credibility of the doctors needs to be sustained again. The patient-doctor trust, the confidentiality, the trustable factor should be rebuilt again. If you doubt somebody, that's it. The patient-doctor relationship is something very noble. You cannot doubt them.
But I think I have that grouse also. Generally, so much name dropping. I mean, you don't have to come and tell me if I have gone to a doctor because I have been referred to you by somebody, say for a condition. I'm going there and you say this person came, that person came, that person came. I'm like, so sad. I don't want to know what happened to them. I actually told somebody, I said, doctor, I don't think I want to know somebody else's medical history.
You did?
Yeah, I did. நானா அதான் சொன்னேன், நான் இங்கேயும் பிரச்சனை பண்ணேன், நான் மயக்கம் போட்டு விடுதா விஷ ஊசி குத்து அப்படின்னு சொல்லுவேன். ஜோக்ஸ் அப்பார்ட். ஸோ அதோட சொல்லுவாங்கல்ல, 2 பேர்கிட்ட வச்சு விட டிரைவர் டாக்டர். But overall, I think I have really, really respected the arduous time and stress that people go through, the constant abuse and everything else, and now the kind of health risks that they're going through to even just sustain in this profession.
Correct.
And I understand the disillusionment. I totally get it. Totally understand.
It's almost, I think you might be the best person to know this because you are in the same line.
From the other side.
From the other side.
So I'm technically the evil corporate.
Let me ask you your fitness routine. You do anything?
இருந்தது சார். Before pregnancy, I used to be lifting weights அந்த மாதிரி எல்லாம் இருந்தது. I did work out. Now I especially after இதெல்லாம் I swim whenever I can, and I do a combination of both walking in the swimming pool and swimming. Nice. I was suggested, especially for the lower back condition that I developed post
water aerobics மாதிரி.
So நடக்க சொன்னாங்க swimming pool up and down to also strengthen my legs, because my work involves a lot of standing for prolonged hours. So இப்படி அப்படி we will not be standing in the way that a human is supposed to properly stand. So automatically இடுப்பு தான் அடி வாங்கும். பாடும்போது 3 hours we will be standing and singing, holding the neck in a certain position alone. All of this is stuff that we don't ஏன்னா ஒரு மைக் பொசிஷன் அப்படிங்கிற போது ரெக்கார்டிங்ல கூட ஒரு மைக் இப்படி இருக்குன்னா அந்த ஒரு அந்த ஒரு ஒரு 45 டிகிரி ஆங்கிளையோ ஒரு 50 டிகிரி அந்த அந்த ஒரு பர்டிகுலர் ஆங்கிள் and that facing of the mic is very important for the tonality to be captured properly. அதுல உங்களோட singing, உங்களோட prowess and your perfection, everything needs to happen. Lyrical clarity, emotional quotient, everything needs to come through where you need to decrease. So இது எல்லாமே this place is literally kind of frozen in time. During the time you have to be very conscious of all that. So all that tension will also slightly build up in all of these trapezius and everything else. அங்கதான் first அப்படின்னு இருக்கும் எனக்கு. இப்போ earlier when you're younger it will not hit you, but as we grow older, post 35 40 is a milestone. What was it?
And your sleep is good now?
No, my kids are going through a regression. So my kids are jumping Japan until like 1:32 in the night. Please, please. And my daughter and son will be like the arms of the clock. Generally all over the bed. Ipdi apdi. So constantly being kicked in the face or on the gut throughout the night. I'm just waiting for the day that I will actually sleep through the nights. It's fitfully. It'll be nice.
There's something called postpartum blues.
Thankfully varla.
That postpartum blues is very common. Which doesn't, it's a normal phenomenon. Sometimes it is evident clinically. But what I'm saying is from postpartum blues itself, the sleep circadian rhythm gets disrupted. And this Indian community, which is very good, where we develop family bonding while sleeping together.
Yeah.
It is exactly opposite in the West.
Yeah.
They will have their own room. They will prioritize sleepovers. So I always had this confusion. Okay, which way? Maybe family bonding is really good.
I support co-sleeping. I completely I get it. I think that bond and that closeness to the child is important. I get it. Perhaps it might not help maybe some married young adult sex life in something like this. I think to each their own. This is what we wanted as a couple.
How's your Muttamalai tour coming along?
Going on very well. நான் ஒரு tour ஆவே எதிர்பார்க்கல.
It's so nice.
It just
it just happened.
It just happened. It was not, none of this was something I expected, even in my wildest of dreams. இது மாதிரி ஒரு பாட்டு வரும்னு எதிர்பார்க்கல, அதுவும் நான் பாடுவேன்னு எதிர்பார்க்கல, அதுவும் யாரோட பாட்டை பாடுறதுக்கோ இப்படி ஆகணும்னு நான் எதிர்பார்க்கல. So for me at least it is it's quite interesting how this is all panning out. And நிறைய விஷயம் புதுசா இருக்கு. 7 years, a lot of changes have happened in this space.
One last thing with a rapid fire. Okay. First question. Actually, I thought this should be I'm a huge fan of you.
Okay.
So you have motivated me in this talk. I thought of asking medical questions. She made me motivated so much.
Medical question la kelunga. Enna avudhu paapom.
Okay, rapid fire. One woman from history you would love to have dinner with.
Bell Hooks.
Bell Hooks. Not sure who that is.
Fantastic writer. Feminist literature.
Now I know where all your feminism coming from.
Not really. Lots of people have learned, but Bell Hooks is she's amazing. Super. You should read.
Super. A.R. Rahman named you Angel of Music.
Abdiya?
Indai Haza.
Means Angel of Music.
Amma.
இந்த விஷயம் எனக்கு இத்தனை வருஷம் தெரியாதே.
I told you.
This is news to me. இந்த விஷயம் அவருக்கு தெரியுமா? அதான் கேள்வி. When did it name me that?
Indai Haza is true தானே?
அது கரெக்ட் தான். I didn't know it meant Angel of Music.
What does it mean?
I don't know what it means. I really don't know what it means.
You Google it.
Oh. Okay, but in which language though? Farsi?
Maybe.
Okay.
I don't know. Say question patro. Which dish deserves to be called the angel of food according to you? Your favorite dish? We could have asked as a simple question as well.
இது ரொம்ப கஷ்டமான ஒரு விஷயம் டாக்டர். இப்படி பண்ணிட்டீங்களே. Angel of food. I think anything that is actually calming on the stomach and reminds us of home.
Example?
It could be anything.
Curd rice.
Could be for some people. சில பேருக்கு மாகாளி கிழங்கு கூட இருக்கலாம்.
உங்களுக்கு?
எனக்கு சில நேரம் அது மூட பொறுத்து இருக்கு. But yeah, I think something that's I would say
Simple.
soup, pumpkin soup. Yeah.
Pumpkin soup. Super. What's the weirdest advice you have ever received to protect your voice?
Don't be a host.
Don't be a host.
TV show, radio jockey. Pesada.
Strange. If you could create a workout playlist, what would be the top 3 tracks?
Interestingly, I don't listen to music much.
Huh.
Yeah. So எனக்கு வந்து that becomes my brain starts going into overthink, analyzing, learning. అందుல போயிடுவேங்கறனால I can't play music and drive. Music has to be off in the car.
Wow. Even to your own songs?
Absolutely. No, especially for my own songs because ஐயா இது பெட்டரா பாடிடலாம் ஐயா அப்படிதான் இருக்கும் எனக்கு.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. One song of yours that matches your current mental state, like in the happiness or after Muthamalai or current
அதான்
state.
முத்தமழைனால நான் ஹாப்பி ஆயிட்டேனா அப்படிலாம் எனக்கு
Or-
I'm okay.
or whatever,
I mean, glad. I mean, as long as this lasts, let it last. God, I'm grateful. I mean, I think gratitude, if that would be the thing.
Devam Tanda Puve will
Yeah, தெய்வம் தந்த புவில். But அதுவே ஒரு மாதிரி ஒரு ஸ்லைட்டா ஒரு லவ் ஹேட் ரிலேஷன்ஷிப். சாரி, லவ் ஹேட் இல்ல. There is a lot of angst in those that situation and that won't this child accept me sort of a space இல்லையா அது. ஸோ யா ஒரு விதத்துல செல்ல மழையும் நீ என்ன புயலும் நீ எல்லாம் அப்படிதான் வாழ்க்கை அப்படிதான் போயிட்டு இருக்கு எனக்கு ஆக்சுவலி பார்த்தா. திடீர்னு நல்லா இருக்கு, திடீர்னு புயல் அடிக்குது, திடீர்னு வேர்ல்ட் பூல்ல நடுவில் போய் ஒட்டு பிடிச்சாண்டி எல்லாம் எவனாலும் ஒட்டம் பிடிச்சி எடுத்து வெளில எடுத்துட்டு வரான்.
Ma'am, this is the only area I'm going to ask you to sing. Only one line.
பாடுங்க.
Only for Devam Tanda Puve alone. Please.
சரி.
ஒரு தெய்வம் தந்த பூவே கண்ணில் தேடல் என்ன தாயே, வாழ்வு தொடங்கும் இடம் நீதானே, வானம் முடியும் இடம் நீதானே, காற்றை போல நீ வந்தாயே, சுவாசமாய் நீ நின்றாயே, மார்பில் ஊறும் உயிரே.
Oh my God. I would never imagine that I will be sitting right next to you too.
Nice.
I would never imagine. Thank you. After your tiring concert, what is your guilty pleasure in terms of food?
I think adrenaline is kicking so much that
You will
it
not feel
takes-
hungry, right?
No, we
Yeah.
feel nothing.
Yes.
அதனால தான் I think one of the reasons that KK,
Yes.
I don't think he felt what was going on with him,
Oh.
and he
on stage.
collapsed of a heart attack eventually.
That is something very true. Adrenaline and sympathetic nervous system, you will not feel hungry.
I think அப்புறமா தான் somewhere he felt a little uncomfortable and was taken away and then collapsed.
A song that lifted your mood anytime. Oh, you don't listen to music.
வீரபாண்டி கோட்டையிலே.
Is that right? Why is that?
தெரியல, எனக்கு வந்து ரேமான்ஸ் இருக்கிறது பெருசா பிடிக்குமா என்னன்னு தெரியல. பட் நாங்கெல்லாம் வந்து பயங்கரமா அந்த ஆத்தங்கர மரமே, போராளி போன தாய், வீரபாண்டி கோட்டையிலே நாங்க மரண ஃபேன்ஸ் நாங்களாம். ஸோ ஆல்சோ ஐ திங்க் லாட் ஆஃப் ராஜா சார் சாங்ஸ், இது ராசாவே ஒன்று நம்பி, அதெல்லாம் ரொம்ப பிடிக்கும்.
Nice, nice. Virabadi Kodile was the first dance that I danced in my college.
What? I definitely need to see that video.
This is for lifting your mood, not to depress.
ஜாலியா தான் இருக்கு டாக்டர்.
One last thing, a song that made you cry.
Actually, I have cried a couple of times at Rahman's studio when he was playing something before we recorded. So ஒரு பாட்டு அப்படியே கிரியேட் பண்ணுவார்ல, அங்கேயே உட்காந்து கிரியேட் பண்ணும்போது சம்டைம் அந்த ராகத்தை அப்படின்னு வாசிக்கிட்டே இருப்பாரு. ஒரு நாள் வந்து அவர் there's something very evocative about the gentleman's music. So that day I remember tears were pouring down my face and I didn't want to disturb him by sniffling. So I was doing my best, working with a leaking nose and leaking eyes. And I was like, ஐயோ அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு ஒரு அளவுக்கு மேல அப்படின்னு அவர் இப்படி திரும்பி என்னாச்சு அப்படின்னு அவர் மேல உட்காந்துட்டு நான் கீழே தான் உட்காருவேன் ஸ்டூடியோல. என்னாச்சு இல்லை இட்ஸ் வெரி பரவாயில்ல காஃபி குடிச்சிட்டு வாங்க அப்படின்னு. அப்புறம் கொஞ்ச நாள் கழிச்சு குரல்லாம் செட்டில் ஆகி, பிகாஸ் இட் கேன் டிஸ்டர்ப் திஸ் என்டையர் ENT ஸ்பேஸ், ரைட்? ஒரு 45 நிமிஷம் கழிச்சு கொஞ்சம் குரல் வரல, அது இல்லை பரவாயில்ல கொஞ்ச நேரத்தில் வார்ம் அப் ஆயிடும் அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு it's really, music has moved me to tears.
Wow.
While recording at
What song is that? That moved you so much?
இல்ல அவர்
Just the humming.
வாசிச்சுக்கிட்டு இருந்தாரு அவரு
Wow.
பியானோல சாரி on his keys. He was just, I think, was trying to explore what he wants to do with the tune. So D வாசிக்கிட்டு I had a private concert.
Wow.
So I was in the best seat in the world that day. எல்லாத்தையும் வாசிச்சு முடிச்சுட்டு நாங்க இப்படியே I have had so many of those sessions like that where I've seen him create a song in front of my eyes and be so moved by it, or just be. And that's when you realize how music can really alter your state of being and how you feel, and put you in a completely different space where you actually feel silence inside.
Wow.
And you're under that peace, that serenity, that listening to great music for that time, no, it can கொஞ்ச நாளை வந்து உள்ள சைலண்டா இருக்கும்.
Wow.
And I felt that, and it's probably why they say that music is one of the paths to reach the higher power. Wow. Or a higher consciousness, I presume, where you feel one with everything in the world. There can't be something more beautiful than that, where you feel, people have told me that the highest state of being is when you realize there is no good or bad, there is no him and me, there is not that and this, there is no evil in good. It's all coming from the same place, and we all go back to the same place. And if we all just, I think, operated from that, maybe we would be a better world.
Better place.
And a better human being.
But I'm a huge fan of music. I'm a huge fan of you.
Thank you, doctor.
And to be honest, when I was following you from 2018 very closely, I never thought this would happen. But thanks to social media.
You messaged me, I was like, என்னடா அது 4 மாசமா இப்படியே போயிட்டு இல்ல ஆமா இல்லவே போயிட்டு இருக்கேன்.
No, I'm very happy. I'm very happy that you we were able to do this, and thank you so much.
And it is because for some reason it's always been in my head. I have always wanted to do something special for postpartum care. And it's there in my head. When I am able to save up enough for that, I will do it. I really will. It is more or less the wisdom that is in our culture, especially in Southeast Asian culture. Postpartum care is heavy. அது வந்து கொஞ்சம் கை விட்டு போனதுதான் பிரச்சனையே. With all of our diet, அந்த பத்திய சாப்பாடு எல்லாமே ஒரு அளவுக்கு அது ஃபாலோ பண்ணா, நான் ஃபாலோ பண்ணேன். பத்திய சாப்பாடு எல்லாமே நான் ஃபாலோ பண்ணேன் கொஞ்சம். And that makes a difference.
The first 3 months after the delivery, more than the diet, the mental part is very critical.
True.
So when the diet and the mental health were in a very good space,
support,
that is the long-term foundation for that woman's health on a longer basis. But what happens is, even before she gets time to recover, she gets pregnant again. That is one of the things that has not been talked about in our mainly Indian community.
Definitely.
Not because we pay more attention to the baby
plus வந்து சீக்கிரமா அடுத்து முடிச்சிரு என்னது இது, நம்ம மெஷினா keep popping out one after the other, and by the time God knows there is no importance given to her recovery. அதுக்கு அந்த family ecosystem முக்கியம். அங்க இருந்தனா அந்த postpartum blues, depression, psychosis, rage, everything, that feeling of being unsupported, even in the best of spaces, that rage can come and go. I'm like, what the heck, my life has changed, my body has changed, everything is different about how I look, how I feel, how I move, my joints creak, and here is a man walking about as if nothing happened in his life. அது வராம போகாது. But in a more supported environment, I think it will be fleeting.
But that is a normal phenomenon.
Yes, it's normal.
It's a normal, and the normal, somebody in the family should accept it as normal,
yeah,
and then give the support. And I'm sure you are motivating so many people.
I hope.
And please doing the good work. When I look at you, I look at music, I look at courage. And you have instilled so much amount of courage and so much amount of women, they look up to you. Thank you so much for all you do.
Thank you so much.